Episode 18. After the Fall. The phone lay on the floor where it had fallen, Sophie's message still glowing on the screen. Alex stared at it, her mind refusing to process what she'd just read. Julia Hartwell, dead, suicide, and a note that mentioned her name. Alex. Marcus's voice came from somewhere distant, though he was right beside her. Alex, look at me. She turned slowly, finding his face etched with concern. He'd already pulled on his trousers, was reaching for his shirt. The soft lamplight caught the lines of his torso, the body she'd just been pressed against, and the contrast between that intimacy and this new horror made her stomach twist. "We need to call Detective Okonkwo," Marcus said, his surgeon's practicality cutting through the shock. "Right now." Alex nodded numbly, retrieving her phone with trembling fingers. It was 8:47 p.m. on a Friday night. Just hours ago, she'd walked out of the bar standards board, hearing victorious. Julia had been alive then, sitting across that conference table, her face pale with defeat as the panel announced their decision. Formal warning for Alex, referral to the CPS for Julia, and now Julia was dead. Detective Okonkwo answered on the second ring, her voice sharp with alertness despite the late hour. "Miss Morrison, I was about to call you." "Sophie told me," Alex managed. "Julia Hartwell. She found at her Harley Street practice approximately 90 minutes ago. Building security discovered her when they noticed her office lights still on at 7:30. She'd been dead for at least 2 hours by then." Alex's mind calculated backward. 2 hours before 7:30 meant Julia had died around 5:30. The hearing had ended at 4:15. Julia had left the building immediately, her solicitor beside her, refusing to speak to anyone. Less than an hour and 15 minutes later, she'd been dead. "The note," Alex said. "What does it say?" There was a pause, the sound of papers shuffling. "It's brief. I'm sorry for what I've done. I couldn't live with the consequences. Alexandra Morrison deserves to know the truth. I wasn't working alone. Someone else put me up to this. Someone who's been planning this for far longer than 2 years. They promised me Marcus if I helped destroy Alex's career. I was a fool. I'm so sorry." The room tilted. Alex felt Marcus's hand on her elbow, steadying her, guiding her to sit on the edge of the bed. "Someone else," she whispered. "She was working with someone." "That's why I was about to call you," Okonkwo said grimly. "Miss Morrison, I need you to come to Scotland Yard. Tonight, there are aspects of this scene that concern me." "Concern you how?" "I'd rather discuss it in person. Can you be here within the hour?" Alex looked at Marcus, who nodded immediately. "We'll be there," she said. After she hung up, they dressed in silence. The easy intimacy of moments before replaced by grim purpose. Alex pulled on the same clothes she'd worn to the hearing. The navy suit felt like armor now, something to hide behind. Marcus dressed quickly in dark jeans and a black jumper, his movements efficient. As they headed for the door, Alex's phone buzzed again. Natasha this time. "Sophie told me. Are you okay? Where are you?" "Going to Scotland Yard. Okonkwo wants to see us." "Sophie and I are coming. Don't argue." Alex didn't have the energy to argue. Part of her was grateful. The thought of facing whatever Okonkwo had to show them alone, even with Marcus beside her, felt overwhelming. The drive to Scotland Yard passed in a blur of streetlights and silence. Marcus drove, his hand occasionally reaching for hers, squeezing gently. Alex stared out the window, watching London slide past, and tried to make sense of what Julia's note meant. Someone else put me up to this. Someone who'd been planning this for longer than 2 years. Someone who'd promised Julia she could have Marcus if she destroyed Alex's career. But who? And why? Rebecca Chen was still in custody, awaiting trial. Emma Wright remained in psychiatric care at the Priory, her mental breakdown complete. Both women had been obsessed with Marcus. Both had tried to destroy Alex's life. But Julia's note suggested someone else entirely. Someone who'd orchestrated everything from the shadows. Scotland Yard's parking garage was nearly empty at this hour. Marcus found a spot near the lifts, and they rode up in silence. Natasha and Sophie arrived just as they reached the reception area, both looking rumpled and worried. "Alex," Sophie said, pulling her into a fierce hug. "I'm so sorry. I know the timing, after everything you just went through today." "It's not your fault," Alex said, though the words felt automatic. Nothing felt real. Detective Okonkwo met them in the lobby, her expression grave. She was dressed casually in jeans and a leather jacket, clearly having been called in off duty. "Thank you for coming so quickly," she said. "Let's go somewhere private." She led them to a small conference room on the third floor. The walls were institutional gray, the fluorescent lighting harsh. A manila folder sat on the table, along with several evidence bags. "First, I want to be clear that this is an active investigation," Okonkwo began, settling into a chair across from them. "What I'm about to show you is being shared because of the direct threat the suicide note makes to Ms. Morrison's safety. This is not typical protocol." "Understood," Alex said. Okonkwo opened the folder, revealing crime scene photographs. Alex forced herself to look. Julia Hartwell sat slumped in her office chair, her head tilted back, eyes closed. An empty pill bottle lay on the desk beside a tumbler of what appeared to be whiskey. The note sat beside it, handwritten on expensive cream stationery. "Overdose of prescription sedatives mixed with alcohol," Okonkwo explained. "The preliminary assessment suggests she took approximately 30 tablets of diazepam, more than enough to be fatal." "But you have concerns," Marcus said quietly. Okonkwo nodded, pulling out another photograph. This one showed Julia's desk from a different angle, focusing on her computer screen. The computer was still on when she was found. This is what was displayed. Alex leaned forward, squinting at the image. It showed an email draft, unsent, addressed to someone called V. The message read, "I can't do this anymore. You promised me this would work, that Marcus would see Alex for what she really is and turn to me. Instead, everything's falling apart. The hearing was a disaster. They're referring me to the CPS. I could lose my license, face criminal charges. All because I believed your lies. I'm telling them everything. About you, about what you made me do, about the others you've used. I won't go down alone." "She didn't send it," Sophie said, her tech expertise immediately apparent. "It's just a draft." "Exactly," Okonkwo confirmed. "And here's what concerns me. The timestamp on that draft shows it was created at 5:47 p.m., but the medical examiner estimates time of death at approximately 5:30 p.m., give or take 15 minutes. The implication hung in the air. Someone else wrote that email," Alex said slowly. "After Julia was already dead." "Or dying," Okonkwo agreed. "Which means this may not have been suicide at all. It may have been staged to look like one." Natasha's hand flew to her mouth. Marcus's grip on Alex's hand tightened. "There's more," Okonkwo continued, pulling out another evidence bag. Inside was a mobile phone. This was found in Julia's desk drawer. It's a second phone, a burner. "We're working on accessing it now, but preliminary examination shows it was used exclusively to communicate with one contact, saved only as V. The same person from the email," Sophie said. "We believe so. The last text message sent from this phone was at 4:52 p.m., 38 minutes after the hearing ended. It reads, 'It's done. I failed you. I'm sorry.' The response came at 5:03 p.m. 'Sorry isn't good enough. You've made this messy. I'll clean it up.' Alex felt cold seeping into her bones. They killed her. "We don't know that for certain yet," Okonkwo cautioned, "but the timeline is suspicious. Julia leaves the hearing at 4:15, arrives at her practice by 4:35, sends that text at 4:52. Someone responds at 5:03, and by 5:30, she's dead. The building's security footage shows only one person entering the building during that window, Julia herself, at 4:37 p.m. "What about other exits?" Marcus asked. "Service entrances, fire escapes?" "We're reviewing all footage now, but the building is relatively secure. If someone else was there, they either had a key or were already inside waiting." Alex's mind raced through the implications. Julia had been working with someone called V, someone who'd promised her Marcus, who'd orchestrated the entire plot against Alex, who'd been planning this for years. And when Julia failed, when she became a liability, V had eliminated her. "The note," Alex said suddenly. "You said Julia's note mentioned someone else putting her up to this. But if she didn't write the email draft, maybe she didn't write the suicide note either." Okonkwo's expression shifted, something like approval flickering in her eyes. "That's exactly what concerns me. We're having a handwriting analyst examine both the note and samples of Julia's writing. But there's something else." She pulled out one final photograph, this one showing Julia's hands. No ink stains on her fingers, despite the note being handwritten. And the pen found beside the note She held up an evidence bag containing an expensive fountain pen. Shows no fingerprints at all. It's been wiped clean. Someone staged the entire scene, Natasha said, her voice shaking. They murdered her and made it look like suicide. That's our working theory, Okonkwo confirmed. Which brings me to why I asked you here, Miss Morrison. If Julia was killed because she became a liability, and if her supposed suicide note mentions you specifically, then whoever did this wants you to know they're still out there. This is a message. A threat, Marcus said darkly. Alex's phone buzzed in her pocket. She pulled it out, her blood running cold when she saw the message from an unknown number. Unknown. Poor Julia. She never could keep her mouth shut. Don't worry, Alexandra. Your turn is coming. But first, I want you to suffer. I want you to watch everything you love crumble, starting with him. Attached was a photograph, Marcus taken through the window of this very conference room just minutes ago. Alex's hands shook as she passed the phone to Okonkwo. They're here, right now, watching us. Okonkwo's face hardened. She was on her radio immediately, calling for building security, ordering a lockdown. Within seconds, uniformed officers were flooding the corridor outside. But Alex knew it was already too late. Whoever V was, they were always one step ahead. Marcus pulled Alex against him, his body tense with protective fury. Sophie and Natasha moved closer, forming a tight circle. We need to figure out who this is, Sophie said, her voice steady despite the fear in her eyes. Someone called V who's been planning this for years. Someone with resources, technical skills, and a vendetta against Alex specifically. Someone who was at our engagement party 2 years ago, Natasha added, referencing Julia's note. That's when this supposedly started. Alex closed her eyes, trying to think past the fear. The engagement party, 2 years ago. She'd been there with dozens of people, colleagues, friends, family. Who had V been? And why did they hate her enough to orchestrate this elaborate years-long campaign of destruction? We need to go back through everything, Marcus said. Every person at that party. Every connection to the people who've already come after you. Rebecca, Emma, Julia, they were all pawns. We need to find the player. Okonkwo returned, her expression grim. Building security swept the perimeter. Whoever took that photo is gone, but we're reviewing all CCTV footage from the past hour. We'll find them. Alex wasn't so sure. V had evaded detection for 2 years, had manipulated 3 different women into destroying themselves in pursuit of revenge against Alex, had possibly committed murder tonight, and staged it as suicide. This wasn't someone who made mistakes. As they left Scotland Yard an hour later, surrounded by police escort, Alex felt Marcus's hand slip into hers. The touch grounded her, reminded her what she was fighting for. But the message from V echoed in her mind. I want you to watch everything you love crumble. Starting with him, they wanted to take Marcus from her, to destroy him the way they destroyed Julia. Alex wouldn't let that happen. Whatever it took, whoever V was, she would find them. And she would end this. Back at Marcus's flat, with police stationed outside and Sophie working to trace the unknown number, Alex stood by the window, staring out at the Thames. The water was dark and smooth, reflecting the city lights. She felt Marcus's presence behind her before his arms wrapped around her waist, pulling her back against his chest. We'll figure this out, he murmured against her hair. We'll find them. They've already killed someone, Alex said quietly. Julia might have been terrible, might have tried to destroy me, but she didn't deserve to die. No, she didn't. Alex turned in his arms, looking up at his face. The fear she'd been holding at bay all evening threatened to overwhelm her. They're coming for you next. They said so. Let them try. His voice was fierce, protective. I'm not going anywhere, Alex. Not now. Not ever. She wanted to believe him, wanted to trust that they could survive this the way they'd survived Rebecca and Emma. But this was different. This enemy was smarter, more patient, more deadly. Marcus seemed to read her thoughts. His hand came up to cup her face, thumb stroking her cheekbone. Hey, look at me. She met his eyes, finding them dark with emotion. Whatever happens, he said softly, we face it together, you and me. No more secrets, no more trying to protect each other by pushing away. We're stronger together. Alex nodded, her throat tight. Then Marcus was kissing her, deep and thorough, and she was kissing him back with desperate need. They made their way to the bedroom, shedding clothes as they went. This wasn't like earlier. That had been playful, leisurely, a celebration of surviving the hearing. This was urgent, almost frantic, a need to affirm life in the face of death. Marcus laid her on the bed, his body covering hers, and Alex wrapped herself around him, needing to feel him everywhere. His hands moved over her skin with familiar confidence now, knowing exactly where to touch to make her gasp. When he entered her, they both stilled for a moment, foreheads pressed together, breathing in sync. Then they were moving together, the rhythm building, and Alex felt tears slip from the corners of her eyes, not from sadness, but from the overwhelming intensity of it all. The fear, the love, the desperate need to hold on to this, to hold on to him. "I love you," Marcus breathed against her lips as they moved together. "God, Alex, I love you so much." "I love you too," she gasped, her body tightening around him as pleasure built. "I love you." When they came apart together moments later, Alex clung to him, feeling his heart hammering against hers. This was what V wanted to take from her. This connection, this love, this man who'd somehow become everything. She wouldn't let that happen. After, lying tangled together in the darkness, Marcus's fingers tracing patterns on her bare shoulder, Alex's mind returned to the problem at hand. "The engagement party," she said quietly. "We need to make a list of everyone who was there." "Tomorrow," Marcus said. "Tonight, just let me hold you." Alex nodded, pressing closer to his warmth. Tomorrow they would hunt. Tonight they would simply survive. But as she drifted towards sleep, one thought kept circling. V had been planning this for 2 years. They'd recruited Rebecca, manipulated Emma, controlled Julia. How many others were there? How deep did this conspiracy go? And most terrifying of all, who would V use next?
Thanks for watching our stories. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more epic adventures. Thanks for watching our stories. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more epic adventures.